milk transfusions, cocaine for hay fever, morphine in cough syrup. What? If you haven't guessed it, we're talking about 6 historical medical practices that might have been a smidge misguided. Just a smidge. Or just plain dangerous. The first gem on this list that we're going to talk about are milk transfusions. Yes, you heard me right. In the late 19th century, a Dr. Bavell believed milk to be the perfect substitute for blood for the treatment of cholera.
Hello.
And the fatty, oily qualities would become white blood cells. I mean, they're both white, I guess, so I can make that jump. I don't know. However, while a few instances of this procedure were actually successful, many resulted in death. Go figure. And we're not done. Not by a long shot. In one instance, the injection of milk dropped a patient's pulse immediately to the point where they had to be resuscitated with a combination of, wait for it, morphine and whiskey. Okay. Yeah. The patient only lived 10 days after the operation, so if you have Bessie in the backyard and you get cholera, you're good. You're absolutely good. You're good to go. Yeah. Miss Winslow's soothing syrup was a popular remedy for babies experiencing anything from teething to diarrhea. It was also marketed to unsuspecting parents to clean teeth and freshen breath. So, what were the secret ingredients in these 25-cent cure-alls? Well, according to this article, a heavy percentage of alcohol and morphine is the answer. Yep. That's what I always reach for first. Little schnapps from Papa's cabinet and a healthy dose of opiates. Works every time. Later on, this soothing syrup, along with others, was condemned. In this article, they are given the label baby killers, and the article advises that if you value your child's health and life, never use these preparations. Yeah, I think that's sound advice, actually. Oh, and a little sidebar. When I was researching this, I got information from the DEA Museum. Yeah, I did not know there was a DEA museum. Go figure. Cocaine for hay fever. Many believe that allergy symptoms caused by pollen, also known as hay fever, could be alleviated with the application of cocaine, as described in this article. Yeah. This was discovered not to be the case. Dr. George Frederick Laidlaw, a recognized leading pathologist of the homeopathic school in New York, and he's quoted in multiple articles saying, if you can't cure it without cocaine, you better just keep the hay fever. Okay, so let's chat about the nose candy here and the legitimate uses in medical practice today, because technically it does have anesthetic and vasoconstrictive properties, meaning that it causes the tiny blood vessels to shrink up and reduces bleeding in procedures like rhinoplasty comes to mind, like nose jobs, really, and many others. But the anesthetic aspect makes sense because cocaine and lidocaine are chemical cousins. So yeah, I mean, I can just imagine people looking forward to allergy season back then. Xenotransplantation. This procedure involved the transplantation of the interstitial gland from a chimpanzee into an 80-year-old man in the hopes of returning him to his physical vigor. This article details the procedure, quoting the inventor, Dr. Sergei Voronov, saying, "This gland is vital to the male organism. However, it was naturally impossible to transfer from man to man. So this led me to go to the nearest species of monkeys, which have been used very successfully in thyroid experiments." Let's just focus on that last word, experiments. Later, this procedure was debunked. The Whale Hotel. This article from 1899 reports a hotel in Australia where you could go for rheumatoid arthritis. Great. Awesome. Okay. In this treatment, whenever a nearby whale died, patients could be rowed to the whale. Then the whale would be cut up and a narrow hole made in the body. Okay. The patient would then lay down in the carcass for around 2 hours. Yeah, okay. This process allegedly relieved soreness and inflammation, and this may be the best part. The treatment was reported to be discovered by a drunken man who was staggering along the beach near the whaling station at Twofold Bay, and who, seeing a dead whale out in the open, he just cut it open and, took a header into the decomposing blubber. And okay. Although medicine has made many discoveries that would be considered weird, penicillin from moldy bread, for example. Okay. And before we move on to the last medical miracle treatment, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss a single video upload every Wednesday and Sunday. Okay. Last, smoke enemas. Tobacco smoke enemas were considered a successful treatment for cholera and were recommended as alternative remedies to opium. What is it with cholera, man? I mean, I understand, but geez. The exact procedure varied, and in some instances, a pint of boiling tobacco-infused water was administered into the intestines.
Awesome!
It was even reported that hundreds of lives might be spared by the tobacco enema. Hundreds. And if you think for 1 second this is the end in this cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs weirdness, you'd be wrong.
Okay.
So wrong. Can't fit it all in this video, so check this one out over here.